Hey citizens, welcome back to the channel. And today's Man City news video we talked about Hugo Viana has reportedly added Iliman Ndiaye to his short list of potential transfer targets for Manchester City. Up next, how Sandro Tonali could fit into Man City's plans as questions remain over Elliot Anderson pursuit. And a candidate in the Fenerbahce presidential race has reportedly identified Nathan Ake as a priority transfer target. And now citizens, let's get into it. Manchester City's transfer strategy this summer isn't just about signing superstars, it's also about finding the right profiles to support a squad entering a brand new era under Enzo Maresca. And that's what makes the latest link to Iliman Ndiaye so intriguing, at first glance. Some Man City supporters might look at the Everton forward and wonder whether he's really the level required for a team aiming to win the Premier League and Champions League. But when you dig deeper, the potential logic starts to become clear. Ndiaye has quietly developed into one of the Premier League's most unpredictable attacking players. He's not the kind of footballer who dominates headlines every week, but he constantly creates problems for defenders, whether operating on the wing, between the lines, or as an attacking midfielder. He brings something Man City occasionally lacked last season: spontaneity. That's important because Manchester City's attack is changing. With Bernardo Silva's leaving, the squad loses one of its most intelligent and versatile players. Replacing that influence is almost impossible. The Senegal international could prove to be a valuable addition. What's also telling is that reports describe him as a squad option rather than a marquee arrival. That suggests Hugo Viana is building depth alongside pursuing bigger priorities such as midfield reinforcements. In many ways, this feels less like a headline signing and more like smart squad construction. For Man City fans, that is something worth noting. Teams that win the championship are not assembled solely around star names. They are often built on versatile players capable of influencing matches in a variety of roles and situations. And Ndiaye's profile fits that description remarkably well. My friend Man City fan, would you like to see Iliman Ndiaye at Manchester City? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Manchester City's summer transfer strategy may be a lot more ambitious than many supporters initially expected. At first glance, the links to Elliot Anderson and Sandro Tonali seem connected. One arrives, the other doesn't. Simple, right? But the latest reports suggest Man City are viewing these situations very differently. The key issue here is uncertainty. For years, Man City's midfield has been built around stability. Now, as Enzo Maresca prepares for his first season in charge, there are question marks almost everywhere. Rodri is entering the final year of his contract. Nico Gonzalez is facing doubts over his long-term role. Mateo Kovacic's future remains unclear, and Tijani Reinders continues to attract interest from elsewhere. That changes the entire conversation. Anderson appears to be a player Man City see as part of the future, a younger midfielder with energy, intensity, and the potential to grow into a major role over time. Tonali, however, represents something different. He is already proven at the highest level, tactically intelligent, physically strong, and capable of controlling matches in a way few midfielders can. From the football perspective, this is why the distinction matters. If Man City pursue Tonali regardless of what happens with Anderson, it signals that Hugo Viana and Maresca are planning for multiple scenarios rather than reacting to them. They are looking at the possibility of midfield departures before they become problems. In my opinion, that should be encouraging. The club isn't treating this as a routine transfer window. They're preparing for a new era after Pep Guardiola. And midfield remains the heartbeat of everything Man City do, whether Anderson arrives or not. The continued interest in Tonali suggests Man City believe their midfield rebuild could require more than one major addition, and that tells us a lot about how significant this summer could become. So citizens, if Manchester City have the opportunity to strengthen their midfield this summer, who would you choose? Elliot Anderson or Sandro Tonali? Share your opinion in the comments. Nathan Ake's future at Manchester City is suddenly becoming one of the more intriguing stories of the summer, and not because of a move to one of Europe's traditional giants. Instead, the latest reports point towards Turkey, where Fenerbahce presidential candidate Aziz Yildirim is reportedly using the Dutch defender as a headline target in his campaign to return to power. It's a fascinating development because it highlights just how highly he's still regarded despite a frustrating season at the Etihad. When Ake has been fit and available, he has rarely let Man City down. His versatility, composure in possession, and ability to operate as both a center-back and left-back made him a trusted option throughout Pep Guardiola's era. The problem, however, is that injuries and fierce competition have limited his influence over the last campaign. from a tactical perspective. Man City are entering a new phase under Enzo Maresca. Squad places are being reassessed. Younger players are pushing for opportunities, and difficult decisions are inevitable. Ake now finds himself at a crossroads. At 31, he still has the quality to play at the highest level, but he may no longer be guaranteed the consistent minutes he wants. That's why interest from clubs across Europe continues to grow. Fenerbahce see him as the leader of a revamped defense, while teams in Italy, Spain, and even former club Bournemouth are monitoring the situation closely. In my view, this is about more than a transfer. Ake represents one of the most reliable professionals of the Guardiola era. If he leaves, it won't just be another squad departure. It will mark the end of a player who quietly contributed to one of the most successful periods in the club's history. The coming weeks could determine whether he remains part of the citizens' transition or begins a completely new chapter elsewhere. My friend Man City fan, would you like to see Nathan Ake stay at Manchester City for next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. You've been watching the Citizens News fan channel. Hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any updates about the Man City.